All right, guys, last night, Dana White, he comes out. I was asleep. We haven't had one of these videos from him in a while. We were due. We knew the Miami card. We knew there were rumors about Volk, about Topuria, about Diego Lopes. It all comes out. Dana White announces it. I was asleep. I see it in the morning. I had to make my thoughts, of course. Now, guys, I might be going to the Miami card. Hopefully, we'll see. I'll be vlogging it if I do. Hopefully, I'll be at the after party with Volk, dancing, drinking. It'll be a good time. Yeah, celebrating the win. That's a little preview. I will be picking Volk to beat Lopes, but we have to get into this. UFC 314 in Miami, Florida. I might be going. We'll see. Volk versus Diego Lopes. I like it. Shout out to Ilia Topuria. We'll talk about Ilia later. But shout out to Ilia Topuria for not holding up the division, for vacating the title. Take notes, John Jones. If you're not going to fight and defend your title in that division, you vacate. So shout out to Ilia for not holding up the division. And look, for Volkanovski, this is a great opportunity to become undisputed champion once again. I'm sure Volk wanted the rematch versus Topuria, and of course that would have been an amazing win for his legacy, but it was going to be a very tough ask to beat Topuria, and who knows, he could have won. But look, Diego Lopes is still a great win for Volk. It's an exciting up-and-coming challenger who's dangerous, who's the fans like him. But Volk should win, right? He should get this done if he doesn't get knocked out early. Now look, I'm happy about this matchup for Volk. If it wasn't going to be the Topuria rematch, this is a really undisputed Diego Lopes is a really good option. And I think it could have been Brian Ortega for an interim title, and that was just. But Volk has to be feeling pretty good about this because Diego Lopes is dangerous. He's an exciting, new matchup, but Volk should win, right? Volk should win. If Diego Lopes doesn't KO him early, that's the only way I see Diego Lopes winning. If Diego Lopes doesn't chin him early, because Diego Lopes does have power, Volk should win here, right? The grappling, the striking, the cardio, the IQ, it all favors Volk here. You wonder, how's the time off been good for him? Is the chin gone? Look, Diego Lopes hits hard, but Ilia Topuria knocked out Max Holloway. Topuria was just a different level of power, right? The Topuria win over Holloway kind of validated Volk's KO loss. Okay, this guy's good enough to KO Holloway. Now look, Diego Lopes, he's good. I'm a Diego Lopes fan. Of course, I'm going to be rooting for Volk. I'm a Diego Lopes fan. He's put on good fights. But there's no chance he can submit Volk. We've seen Volk has a phenomenal grappling defense. And Diego Lopes he has some pop early. He's explosive early, but he's a little bit sloppy. I think Volk, the much cleaner striker, he'll be able to do his thing. And maybe working some takedowns. Lopes threatens a submission. It's not there. Volk has great ground and pound. Volk, we know, has great cardio. He's going to be jabbing. He's going to be leg kicking. He has to watch out early, right? We have to be the first 7 minutes, we're going to be holding our breaths to make sure Volk doesn't get KO'd. But if he doesn't get KO'd early, he should be fine here. Lopes, he faded a bit against Denige, against Brian Ortega. He's not as strong late. So I think Volk should be all right here. And we're talking about this isn't as good of a win as Topuria would have been, but it's a much more likely win, and it's still a great win for Volk to beat Diego Lopes, right? It's a great win, and if he beats Diego Lopes, we're talking about Movsar Evloev next, and he probably beats Movsar Evloev, and that's another great win. That's the undefeated Dagestani, and Movsar Evloev, he's a pretty good fighter. He has a pretty good resume as well. So we're thinking about Volk, where it could have been. Now look, he could lose to Diego Lopes, and this is all out the window, right? But there was an option where he loses to Topuria, and that's kind of it. Or he beats Diego Lopes, defends the belt against Movsar. That's two really good up-and-comers. These are two great wins for his legacy. And we're talking about Volk, in the GOAT conversation. But, we'll see. We can't get ahead of ourselves. He's got to be careful early. But Volk should get this done. And I'm excited about it. This is a good fight. Hopefully I'm going to be there cheering on Volk. We'll see. I will be vlogging it, but I don't know. I mean, I'll take some Venmo donations. You know, the UFC, they're expensive. Now, let's move on up the card here. We have Michael Chandler versus Paddy Pimblett. Kind of a silly matchup, but look, I'm going to be excited for it. Michael Chandler finally taking on a guy behind him in the rankings. You know, he's been fighting Oliveira, fighting Poirier, fighting Gaethje after losses, and you know, it's a little bit frustrating. There were even rumors about him fighting Arman Tsarukyan on this card. But I'm happy to see him fighting Paddy Pimblett. The odds have it really close. You know, Paddy Pimblett, look, I was thinking about the Jared Gordon fight earlier today. That's just a robbery. I'm sorry, it is. Then he goes out and beats Tony. Doesn't even look that good in it. But then the Bobby Green performance, the last one was the best one for Paddy Pimblett, right? The Bobby Green performance was pretty good, submitting him that early. But, you know, Bobby Green's kind of hit or miss, and Chandler's old, but he's still pretty explosive. He's still a pretty good athlete. Did not look good in the Oliveira fight. He had the moments late. I don't really care. He got dominated in the Oliveira fight. And Charles was taking him down pretty easily, but I'm excited for it. Kind of, you know, they're trying to find a way to get Paddy up the rankings. They like Michael Chandler as well. I'm happy that Michael Chandler's staying active. I'm going to go with Michael Chandler here. Paddy Pimblett definitely could win, but you know, he has been fighting Oliveira. He has been fighting Poirier. He has been fighting Gaethje. He has been fighting, you know, I mean, the Tony Ferguson fight, whatever. But, you know, Paddy's been fighting Tony Ferguson as well. So I think I'm going to go with Michael Chandler here. I don't really see Paddy taking him down. Look, Paddy's gas tank isn't good. Like we saw in the Tony Ferguson fight, he was exhausted. To be fair, yes, he hurt Tony at the end of round 1 and blew his load. Like going after him, trying to finish him. He looked exhausted in that fight, and Chandler, he came back in the 5th versus Oliveira. I don't think, you know, Chandler having bad cardio is going to come into play here. I think Chandler is going to hit him. I actually think Chandler's going to KO him early. I know Paddy Pimblett has a great chin. I don't know. Maybe when was the last time Chandler KO'd somebody? I think Chandler wins. But it'll be interesting. But either win here would be pretty hype. Moving on, we have Jeff Neal versus Carlos Prates. This was also announced last night. This is a great fight. You have Carlos Prates, who has been looking really good recently, right? The Li Jingliang performance looked really clean, really good striking. Knocked out Neil Magny. Okay, you know, Neil Magny can be tricky for guys. To knock him out's pretty good. But this is, you know, a guy from a great gym, an exciting Brazilian, a cool guy who everyone seems to like. I like him as well. And we're trying to, you know, push him through the ranks. He's a very, very good striker, but Jeff Neal's also really good. Took Shavkat to a really close fight. Took Ian Gary to a bit of a boring but close fight. Jeff Neal's really good, and this should be a good fight. I think this could be a really good fight. But I'm gonna take Carlos Prates, just a bit cleaner, just a bit slicker. I think it probably hits a bit harder, and I don't think Jeff Neal would knock out Li Jingliang, but you know, he actually might. But he didn't knock out Neil Mag. Like Jeff Neal can be hit or miss. I think Carlos Prates hits a bit more often. But that's exciting. I'm going to go with Carlos Prates. Nikita Krylov, Dominic Reyes. So this was already announced, I believe. Nikita Krylov, it's been a while since we've seen him in there. Dominic Reyes has kind of had a career resurgence, beating Jacoby and Anthony Smith. This should be a good fight. I probably will go Nikita Krylov. I just think he's a bit more well-rounded. Dominic Reyes, even though he's on a 2-fight win streak, he hasn't looked insane in it. Nikita Krylov, a bit of a different kind of guy than Smith and Jacoby. Hits a bit harder, is just a bit better everywhere. But you know, Reyes could win actually. I like Reyes. He could win. But that's a big fight at heavyweight. That's a good fight. Yan Xiaonan, Virna Jandiroba. I think Zhang Weili is going to move up and fight the winner of Shevchenko Ferro. We'll talk about that later. That just got announced for the May card. But this is a good fight. 1 versus 3. Women's strawweight. Jandiroba is on a pretty good win streak. Maybe if she wins, she'll be in line for the title. Darren Elkins, Julian Erosa, Jim Miller, Chase Hooper. Chase Hooper deserves a jump up, I feel like. Isn't he on like, 5-6 fight win streak? But you know what? I'm actually going to pick Jim Miller. I'm actually going to pick Jim Miller to beat him. That's probably an upset pick. The odds aren't there, but I reckon Jim Miller is probably the underdog. Look, I like Chase Hooper. I just have a feeling Jim Miller's going to win. I just kind of feel like he won't. I feel like he's just going to not get out grappled by him. I don't know. Veteran guy. Tough. Jim Miller's just, he's got good striking. I mean, he's just, I don't know. I like Jim Miller. I don't know. I don't see Chase Hooper beating him here. I know Chase Hooper. He knocked down Vyacheslav Borshev, which was crazy to me. He submitted Clay Guida. Okay, whatever. I don't know. I just see Jim Miller winning this, but Hooper should be getting a jump up. Cedric Dumas coming back. Where's the other? Dan Ige, Sean Woodson. That's interesting. Dan Ige. He seems to do well against these unranked guys at featherweight, but Sean Woodson's been on a good streak. That's actually a good fight. I'll probably go Dan Ige there. I can see him KOing Woodson. But Woodson's been on a good streak, and also on this card, but it's not on here. Patricio Pitbull versus Yair Rodriguez. So obviously Pitbull, a former Bellator champ. Some say the best Bellator fighter ever. I don't really know too much about Bellator. Probably, I would agree. He's been around for a while, a little bit older. And it's a big fight for Yair Rodriguez. I mean, he did not look good against Brian Ortega. He just got bullied to the ground and submitted. Look, on the feet, I think Yair will be lighting him up, but Pitbull's a well-rounded fighter. He's a veteran of the game. Can he take Yair down? I like Yair. I want him to win. And if I'm going to the card, I want to see Yair Rodriguez put on a striking show. But it's a big fight for Yair to prove that he can stuff these takedowns, because I think Pitbull will be shooting him. All right, so let's move on. And we're going to talk about UFC 310 or 315, May 10th in Montreal, Canada. So, what was the last Canadian pay-per-view? Nunes versus Aldana. So, Canada, you're getting a step up here. You're getting a better fight. You're getting Bilal versus JDM. That's a bit better than Nunes Aldana. You're also getting Shevchenko Firo and Gilbert Burns, Michael Morales. You're getting some decent fights. Montreal, that's not bad. A French speaker with Firo. All right, Bilal versus JDM. So apparently Shavkat is injured. He's not ready. We have to be fighting on the champions timeline, not the contenders timeline. So I'm happy that Bilal is getting back in there. JDM, he's kind of the next guy after Shavkat. You could mention Buckley. I think JDM, I would rather see the JDM fight a little bit more. I mean, Bilal Muhammad is going to walk into his first title defense as a 2-1 favorite. That's kind of crazy, right? He's always the underdog, and he's going to walk into his first defense as a favorite. I'm going to go with JDM. I don't know. I just think he's dangerous. He's dangerous on the feet. Like, he can kick. He has elbows. He has knees. He knocked out Gilbert Burns with the knee. Obviously, he has great boxing. We've seen it. I just think he's going to light up Bilal on the feet. Can Bilal get him down? I'm sure he can. But Bilal can't submit him. Bilal is not going to ground and pound TKO him. Bilal, okay, he's going to pressure him. And look, Bilal is a great pressure wrestler. You know, he sets the high pace. He'll throw a lot of strikes. He's going to shoot a bunch of takedowns. He's pretty good. He's a pretty good wrestler, by itself. And he has pretty decent control. But I don't know, like Leon Edwards he doesn't go after people on the feet, right? He did get the head kick versus Usman. But besides that, he kind of is just content to just do normal striking. He won't hunt you down. I just think when Bilal is in there versus the guy who's going to hunt him down, and Bilal's like 38, at some point he has to decline. And Bilal could win. Bilal could do exactly what he did to Leon Edwards here. He could, set the pace, set the wrestling, the pressure. He could do it. And Bilal's good. But I think JDM, when they're on the feet, is just going to hunt him down. 1, 2, uppercut, hook. Bilal's, he's going to be getting pinned, bobbled around. He's like a pinball, just bop, bop, bop. And I think I just had a feeling JDM is going to win. He's had a good run in the UFC so far. He's had some split decisions where he shouldn't have had split decisions. I don't know. I like JDM here. I do. Shevchenko Firo. I'm excited for it. That's a good main event. Shevchenko Firo. I'm going to go with Firo. Shevchenko, she could just grapple, I guess, but she's getting up there in age. She out-grappled Grasso. But, Firo, didn't she just fight Blanchfield and defend takedowns? Blanchfield's a pretty good wrestler, and Firo defended takedowns there. Shevchenko, I mean, this is just, to me, this is who cares. Let's see the winner versus Zhang Weili. Both of them will get smoked. After Zhang Weili's latest performance, she smokes Shevchenko, she smokes Fiorella, and I want to see Zhang Weili get that jump up. You know, it's not like there's a contender like, oh, Jandiroba has to be next for, no. I'll go with Fiorella. She's a good striker. She defended takedowns against Blanchfield, I guess. Shevchenko doesn't really go after people on the feet, kind of like Leon Edwards. She's content to just kind of be slightly ahead. And, you know, Fiorella, she's hungry, and I'm going to go with her. Gilbert Burns, Michael Morales, good fight, fun fight. I believe that was actually on the Miami card, but they moved it to here. I'll probably go Michael Morales. I don't know. Grasso, Natalia Silva. I'll probably go with Natalia Silva. I don't know. Grasso kind of fluked it against Shevchenko, honestly. All right, moving on. Leon versus Sean Brady. So we heard with JDM getting the title fight, Leon needed an opponent. Sean Brady steps in, which is cool. He's not really a guy who's super active or steps in a lot. So shout out to Sean Brady for doing this. Good main event. I mean, a big test for Leon Edwards. After just losing to a grappler in Bilal, he has to take on another grappler in Sean Brady. I feel like Sean Brady and Bilal have very similar styles. Bilal might be a bit better. Like, remember when they fought? It was a razor close fight until Bilal KO'd him, which is crazy because Bilal doesn't KO anybody. But this is a big fight. This is an important fight for Leon Edwards. I mean, this is a big one. This is the big one for Leon. You know, is he just the guy who kind of cleaned up the old guard but can't hang with the new one, or is he still a top contender who just had a bad night versus Bilal? Because I was picking Leon to beat Bilal. I did think he was going to beat Bilal. It was close, you know, but this is a good fight. You know, I don't know. I don't know who I'm leaning with, because Sean Brady, he is a good grappler and he is a decent striker. Leon's a better striker, but again, Leon's not going to, you know, Leon is content to just barely be ahead. He's not going to look for the KO. He's not going to look to walk you down. He's not going to look to land 40 strikes. He's not going to look to really put it on you. He's going to look to, you know, leg kick, body kick, couple of jabs, couple of right hands, maybe a head kick. I'm probably going to go with Sean Brady to just do what Bilal did, out-grapple him. He might even be a bit heavier on top than Bilal. He has better jiu-jitsu than Bilal. I'm going to go with Sean Brady here. I think this is a good matchup for him. It is short notice. All right, keep that in mind. Leon could win. You know, he's fought Usman. He has fought grapplers. But I feel like Sean Brady might be a bit heavier on top. He's got decent jiu-jitsu to where he might be able to keep Leon in positions. I'm going to go. And the issue with Leon, he's a great striker. Just put it on people a bit more. You know, but it seems like when he can't dictate the pace. And I'm not saying Sean Brady is some great cardio machine. But he did go 5 rounds versus Gilbert Burns. I mean, there's some things here that show good signs. But yeah, I mean, it's a good fight. London is getting a good pay-per-view, great co-main event with Jan Blachowicz and Carlos Oberg. I'm going to go with Jan. Sorry, I don't care if he's 50. He still has such great technical striking. I'm going to go with Jan. And anything else? Gunnar Nelson, Kevin Holland. I don't know. I'll probably go Gunnar Nelson. What happened with Kevin Holland? I mean, oh, God. Molly McCann on the card. Chris Duncan on the card. I don't know. Morgan Charrier versus Nathaniel Wood is actually a pretty good fight. But all right. I mean, that's a good card. That's a good fight night. Things are looking good. We have the Seattle card this weekend. I'll be live for it. We have Pereira Ankalaev, Vittorio Delizzi too. Mexico City they're going to. They're going to London. Great pay-per-view in April. And the summer could be really good. Give us DDP Hamzat. Give us Jones. Aspinall, probably not. But give us, and this is what I'm going to end on, Ilia Topuria versus Islam Makhachev. We have been hearing the rumors. Ilia vacating is very interesting. So obviously he's going up. So it's interesting. Will they do Ilia Islam next? Or will they do Ilia versus a Charles or a Poirier and let Islam, or maybe an Armin, and let Islam fight maybe a Charles or an Armin or something like that and give Ilia a contender? Or will they go Ilia Islam first and then do another contender fight. Here's what I would do. I would do Ilya Islam, Charles Arman, winners fight each other. That's what I would do. I want to see Ilya versus Islam right away. And then Charles and Arman can fight each other. They had a very close fight a year ago at UFC 300. Charles beat Chandler, so he's back in the title picture. Arman had the shot. He had to pull out. So I don't mind him fighting again. So, because Arman and Charles are both kind of there. Neither of them are really ahead of each other in terms of the race. Arman beat Charles. Arman pulled out. Charles won. Let's do Charles versus Arman on the same card, 5-round co-main. And let's do Ilya versus Islam Makhachev. That's what I would do. I think that's what the UFC is going to do. I don't want to see Ilya fight someone else. He just knocked out Holloway and he knocked out Volk. I don't need to see him fight Poirier. I don't need to see him fight some other, like a fan favorite like Charles Oliveira. I want to see him versus Islam Makhachev. I don't really care about, Islam, he beat 145er in Volk. He's fighting another 145er. No. We know how good Ilia Topuria is. He knocked out Max Holloway. He knocked out Volk. Stop the nonsense. I want to see him versus Islam Makhachev. And we've heard, and that's a great fight. That's going to be super exciting. International Fight Week. It'd be great. There's a bit of a rivalry there. The intensity is just going to be great. Charles versus Arman on the card, so we know who's going to be next. That's what I want to see, and that's what I think they'll do. That's what I hope for. I want to see Ilya Islam, and shout out to Ilya for vacating the title as well. But who do I think is going to win? I've actually changed my mind. I just did a video yesterday and I was saying I think Islam wins. I actually am going to go with Ilya Topuria to win. But the issue is we don't really know. We know the striking is amazing. We haven't really seen much of the grappling. But Poirier defended takedowns from Islam. I know Volk did, and that was kind of the first time we saw Islam grappling defended, but Poirier did it. It seems like if you prepare for the grappling, I know he's ran through Oliveira. Bryce Mitchell did take down Topuria, which is concerning. It's close. Ilya versus Topuria is Ilya versus Islam is very, very close. It's a very close fight to call. I just think with the power that Ilya has might be enough, because Volk landed a lot on Islam, and I think Ilya, the power might be the difference here. I think it'll carry up to 155. He almost killed Jai Herbert. Clearly it did carry up to 155. But man, the grappling, I don't know, because Bryce Mitchell took him down and held him down for a minute. But he should be rapidly improving from there. I'm picking Ilya Topuria to beat Islam Makhachev, which is kind of crazy. That'd be a crazy run that he's on, but it's 51-49. I'm just kind of barely picking Ilya to win. Because maybe Islam could take him down. Islam is bigger. Ilya's not huge for 155. Right? He's not huge up for 145, even though he said he couldn't make the weight. I don't think he's that big for 145. But I think Ilya could if Poirier can defend the takedowns, I'm gonna believe that Topuria can as well, or at least do enough to not get dominated on the ground. And I think maybe Islam could out-grapple him, but I'm going to go with Topuria knocking Islam out, which would be crazy. But I want to see it. I'm excited. Miami card, amazing. Bilal versus JDM, I'm excited. Oh, also, real quick, Figueiredo versus Sandhagen apparently is in the works for Iowa in May, which is cool. That they're going to a smaller state. I'd probably go with Figueiredo, now that Corey Sandhagen is just nerding out and not throwing and just calculating. The performance against Umar was so frustrating, and I've been a Figueiredo fan for a while, and he'll grit down and throw. He looked pretty good against Petr Yan, even though he got 50-45, maybe 49-46. I'll probably go with Figgy there. But yeah, I'm excited. It should be, we're about to go on a good run of fights. Miami card, great. The Canada card is not bad. Ilya Islam possibly in the works. Some good fight nights, the London fight night, the Mexico fight night, the Iowa fight night. Hopefully we get some more big fights in the summer. It looks like we probably will. And I'm excited. Thank you guys for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, all of that. And I will see you guys later. Peace. Bye.